like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the movie book library. And so hopefully you've gone through and you're gaining some benefit from these kind of book reports, discussions about them, the different ones. And so these books have caused me to go ahead and they have formed the way I think very heavily. And so many years ago, I went through the book Good to Great, and it's by Jim Collins, and he researched phenomenal book. My gracious, this thing it's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So if you're ever over at my house, you can go downstairs and there's a library. Don't take any of my books. You can't take them. You can put them back where you found them. You can look at them, but just glancing through them, you can tell which books based on the notes and stuff. This is one of the greatest comments. It encouraged me. So this one's maybe 15 years ago, maybe more that I read it. And he says, when I look to the good to great transformation, the one word that keeps coming to mind is consistency. Another word offered to me by physics professor R.J. Peterson is coherence. What is 1 + 1? He asked, and then paused for effect. 4. In physics, we have been talking about the idea of coherence, the magnifying effect of one factor upon another. In reading about the flywheel, I couldn't help but think of the principle of coherence. However you phrase it, the basic idea is the same. Each piece of the system reinforces the other parts of the system to form an integrated whole that is much more powerful than the sum of the parts. It is only through consistency over time, through multiple generations, that you get maximum result. When I read that, I'm like, you got to be kidding. So that's given me fuel to keep going. You know, when business sucks, when you're losing money, when people quit, people give up, people don't carry their own weight, people belittle you, people do all this stuff. Man, people, oh my goodness. And I'm like, it says through multiple generations. And it's like, so this book is crazy insane. I mean, there's so much in it. They call it I think it's the hedgehog principle. Like, this is an amazing book. Like, just it's crazy. I mean, this thing's got so many great things part of it. It'd be like we could do a 10-week series on this book. And so the books are harder to do the reviews on than the videos, because obviously you can watch a video in 3 minutes to maybe 10 or 15 minutes. But a book, I mean, you can use AI to do a summary of it, but are you going to get what I got out of it? Probably not. Why not? Because, you're not doing the work, you're not making the sacrifice, you're not taking the risk. And some people don't like to read, which I think I get. I don't like to read either, but I do like to acquire knowledge. I do like to see things I haven't seen. I do like to learn. And so I'm not real big into audio books because I can't take notes. So I'm probably I'm doing more reading now than I've ever done in my life. I mean, it's just crazy how much I'm doing now. All right. Questions or thoughts on, Rosanna, if you want to get the book and bring it up, because I could go through and page through it and I could highlight specific different parts of it. So if you're available to do that, great. If not, that's fine too. Um, any thoughts or questions on Good to Great? Another one is the biggest enemy to greatness is goodness. So the biggest enemy to a great marriage is a good marriage. The biggest enemy to being a great pickleball player is being a good pickleball player. The biggest enemy to a great life is a good life. The biggest enemy to a great job is a good job. So the biggest enemy to greatness is goodness. Other questions?
I guess how do we get more people to see that?
Well, the new white paper that's being worked on now is Addicted to Lazy. And so there's another book, and I think I read part of it, but I don't know why. Thank you. But I don't know why it's Thinking Fast and Slow. And it didn't resonate with me. But Patrick, he's reading it. And so he's talking about blacking out. And so in the book Good to Great, they have statistics about these great companies. What consists of a great company? Disciplined people, disciplined thinkers, and discipline in taking action. You know that a book, you know that a movie, you know that your education or your training stands out when you reference it. So most people that have college degrees, they never talk about what they learned. And it's like, why would you go through all of that? Why would you go through all of that time and money if you're not going to go ahead and, if you're not going to benefit from it? And if you benefited from something, you're going to talk about it.
Mhm.
And so then he talks about, like, there's these models in here. So very few authors. Covey has it. This guy has it. You can't see it. I don't know why. But anyway, so he talks about level 5 leadership. First who, then what? Oh, he talked about getting the right people on the bus. So what he missed in the book is for big companies, you can have 3 bus drivers. But for small companies, you only have one. And so what if that one bus driver is a mediocre? Like, what's the worst employee you can have? It's a mediocre employee, because bad employees you're going to get rid of, or they'll get rid of themselves. But mediocre ones, they're killers because you'll keep them because you're like, they're not terrible. And then confront the brutal facts. That's the buildup. And then there's a breakthrough. And then there's a hedgehog concept. And then the culture of discipline. And then technology accelerators. Like, I didn't realize this. I'd forgotten this model was in there. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. Like, I wish people would go ahead. And so that's what the Life GPS is. It's a technology accelerator. And it's taken decades to get that done. And so then it talks about 5 levels. So level 1 leader is a highly capable individual, makes productive contribution through talent, knowledge, skill, and good work habits. Level 2 is a contributing team member. So actually, this is in an organization. Sorry. So it's a 5-level hierarchy. So a highly capable individual makes productive contribution through talent, knowledge, skills, good work habits. So Ben, it was interesting. So he had one of the top. So he works in an RV factory, and he had one of the top guys that went ahead and came in from Winnebago, I think. So he's a top executive. And Ben's there, and Ben goes ahead and says to him, he says, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate what you've done for me and for us in enabling me to have this kind. I have a great job, get paid good money. And because of that, I'm able to be married and have, a house and a lot of nice things. And I want to thank you for that. And the guy's stunned. He'll never forget the conversation with Ben. So he has conversations with hundreds or thousands of people, but Ben is thankful. And Ben's manager Jonai just laughs, with Ben, even though Ben's not laughing. But he laughs and he's like, Ben, you're such a weird, person. Why? Because he's thankful, because he asks questions. And so when you look at the quantum feeling model, he's not entitled, self-righteous, or a victim. He seeks to be thankful, humble, and take ownership of stuff. And so level 2 is a contributing team member. It contributes individual capabilities to the achievement of a group objectives and works effectively with others in the group setting. Level 3, a competent manager, organizes people and resources towards effectiveness and efficient pursuit of predetermined objectives. Level 4 is the effective leader, catalyzes commitment to and vigorous pursuit of a clear and compelling vision, simultaneously higher performance standard. Level 5, executive, builds enduring greatness through a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. I'd forgotten that model was there. Man, that's a cool model. I mean, it's just like this thing is a classic, and you go through and it's got lots of stories for people who don't like to read. So here he talks about the two sides of level 5 leadership: personal will and personal humility. Like it's just crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. And then they talk about where you go ahead and the hedgehog principle and the BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. In the center of that, there's 3 circles. And what are you deeply passionate about? That's one of the circles. The second is what drives your economic engine. The third is what can you be the best in the world at? And that the center of all of that is the BHAG. And so it's like it's just intriguing. Just such a fascinating book. So Tim, good to have you on today. What kind of inspired you, Tim, to be on?
Your email.
Rosanna's email. Nice.
No. Thursday. Let me see. You sent out an email. If I can find it. I already deleted it. I could find it deleted. Anger. Something about anger and the people who know they're angry, people who don't know they're angry.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and move into that one there in just a moment for sure. Cool. And so that's really cool. So we'll wrap this one up and then we'll move into addicted to lazy. And so nice. Excellent. So glad you're here. We'll move into that in just a moment. Ben, anything else you got, sir, for this podcast? Melissa, anything you got for this podcast?
I think I'm good for right now.
Rosanna, anything else you got for this podcast?
Well, I just remember you referencing good to great quite a few times. So as you were talking about the different things you found in good to great, you apply those in business quite a bit.
Right? And when you think about that, Rosanna, isn't it fascinating? What's fascinating, Mark? Well, when you think about how much... Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking what's fascinating is that you take what you learn and you talk about it.
Right?
Other people don't.
Right. So what's fascinating to me is how much time I took in reading that book compared to how much time you took in your elementary education degree. Why are you
Say
laughing?
that.
What's that?
I just knew you were going to say that.
Really? What else? What do you? Since you're so knowledgeable about what I'm going to say, what am I going to say next?
That I don't reference my education as much as you reference that book.
Is it even close?
No.
So it's intriguing, isn't it? About how, like, you wanted your degree in your college degree in education, in elementary education. You wanted that so bad,
Yeah.
right or not?
Yes.
So why do you think? Like, why do you think I reference Good to Great far more than you do your college degree that spent 4 years, a lot of money, a lot of time doing? Why do you think I reference one book far greater than you do your entire degree?
That's a good question. I know I used my degree when I taught our children. I don't know that I referenced it as far as talked about it. I just used it.
Interesting. Whoa. She's teasing me now.
Did you use the degree for me?
I did.
So I remember once, Ben, so, this is your mother and I when we're, probably 21, 22. And, we're a young married couple, obviously having lots of fun on a lot of different things, vacations and playing and all kinds of stuff. And I remember like talking to your mother, like once on the way home from college, and what'd you learn in school? What'd you learn in college today? And she's like, how to go ahead and teach the kids how to color. I'm like, huh, interesting. Interesting. So, did you learn how to color, Ben?
I attempted to think that I learned how to color, and then I went to public school, and they told me that I had no idea how to color. I still
Those
remember the
public,
picture.
Wow.
those,
Thanks, Ben.
those public schools, like your mom's teaching you to go ahead and take your inner child and express yourself through coloring, and then the public
They told me
school,
that it was like a preschooler, and I was in like second or third grade, and I drew like a preschooler. So it really brought out the inner child for sure.
so think about it. That's why the podcasts, I think, are so powerful, because it helps reinforce learning, and it helps to reinforce learning. Like if something's impacting our life, we talk about it. So look at what you're talking about. Look at what you're talking about. And then think about, that's what's impacting my life, is the things I'm talking about. And are those things going to be significant, or, maybe not so much? Mary Jo, anything else you have?
Not at the moment.
So this one's awakened me, like, oh my goodness. And this is I think it's my third podcast today already. I think I've got three more or something. And so, but this one here is, and so in a previous one in the white paper, Quantum Thinking, that was wild. I mean, that was wild. And so people say, well, Mark, why do you talk about books you've read? Because it helps me to internalize what's in those books. And like, there's so much in Good to Great that I didn't even remember. There's so much actually, I think, that's working on a subconscious basis. And so I think that's what probably Roseanne is saying, is that that college degree was really powerful and it's gone to her subconscious, which is okay for personal productivity. But what she really wants her children to learn is to learn how to be teachers of teachers. She doesn't want them to be students I mean, she wants them to be great students always, but she wants them to learn how to teach, how to develop, other people. And so, stick around for the next podcast. That one is when it gets to be really, cool. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.